Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Karina Joy and I talk about books on this channel. If you like that kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm really close to 250 subscribers and I really want to reach that number, so please subscribe if you like these videos. Today I am going to be talking about my library haul, and if you have seen library hauls in the past of mine, you know that they are usually gigantic, and this one did not disappoint in the gigantic realm. So I'm going to show you my bucket. Ready? This is my library bucket. It's big and heavy. Okay, so I didn't have a rhyme or reason this go around in the library. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna look at fantasy or I'm gonna look at mysteries or whatever, but this time I did not. I actually got these. We have a really cool library system. It's our county library, and we have 12 different libraries in the system. So you can visit any of the libraries, return the books to any of the libraries. They all belong to the same county library, and it's really cool. So these are actually from 2 different libraries on 2 different days. But the one library that I went to is very small, and they don't have like huge sections of each genre. So most of these I got from there, and they're just kind of a mixture of things. And then the other library I went to, I mainly looked at the mystery section because I really want to get into that genre, mainly like cozy mysteries, but the library section overwhelms me. There's like at least 3 or 4 rows of like really long shelves full of mysteries, and I have no idea where to start. They are just, it's just full of mysteries. And so yeah, that is confusing to me. So I picked up a few, but I don't think any of them are cozy mysteries. Maybe I need to figure out something else for that. But anyway, you don't care about all that. You care about the books. So let's get into them. Okay, so the first one I picked up, I've actually been seeing this a lot on book outlets. And so when I saw it in the library, I was like, well, I'll pick it up and maybe try a chapter before I buy it and see if I like it. But it is called Full Cicada Moon. If you don't know what a cicada is, it is actually a bug that is basically only good for food for other animals, and they make really loud noises. We live in an area where cicadas are all over the place, and so that's why it intrigued me. But this is by Marilyn Hilton. Okay, so this is a historical fiction, and it is middle grade, and it's actually done in verse, which I did not know that, but that actually intrigues me a lot more because I really like books written in verse. And so let's see what this one is about. It says, change can start with just one brave person speaking up. As the Apollo 11 mission prepares to go to the moon, Mimi Yoshiko Oliver gets ready to move to a new state. But in 1969, Vermont is mostly white, and for half black, half Japanese Mimi, her appearance is enough to make her feel alien. She struggles to fit in with her classmates, even as she defies stereotypes by entering science competitions and trying to take shop class instead of home ec. And though teachers and neighbors balk at her unconventional family and her refusals to conform, Mimi's dreams of becoming an astronaut never fade, no matter how many times she's told no. So it sounds like a really good one. So I'm going to read the opening of each of these because I really like to do that. So it says Flying to Vermont, January 1st, 1969. It says, I wish we had flown to Vermont instead of riding on a bus, train, bus, all the way from Berkeley. 10 hours would have soared compared to 6 days. But 2 plane tickets, one for me and one for Mama, would have cost a lot of money, and Papa already spent so much when he flew home at Thanksgiving. So, not a stellar beginning, but I really like that it's in verse. So, I might try a few chapters of this just to see if it's something I want to buy. When it comes to library books, I typically do not read the books I get from the library. I just basically have them, so I can look at them, and that's about it. I don't like the deadline. It's really hard for me to get done with a book in time, and so I've learned that I just get them to look at them, talk about them, put them on my list, and then if I want to read them, I will either find them on audiobook or I will buy them later and read them that way. Okay, so the next one I picked up, I've actually never heard of or seen before, and it is called Jade, Fire, Gold. And this is by June C.L. Tan. I think that's how you would say it. Yeah. This one is young adult fantasy. So let's see. It says, On is no one. Found as a child, she has no memory of her past, only a dark secret, magical powers that would mean her imprisonment if they were discovered. But when On's secret is accidentally exposed, she's sent to the Imperial Palace to await her fate. Alton's real name was once known throughout the Shy Empire. When his family was murdered and his birthright hijacked, he lost everything. Now, with a new name and vengeance on his mind, he intends to gain it all back, even if it means entangling his very soul with dark and dangerous magic from which he might never escape. Yeah. I don't know if I'll be interested in that. I usually don't like things that have dark magic in them. I will read you the beginning of this one. It says, Before. It says, The boy clung tightly to his sister's hand when they fled the palace, afraid that if he let go, he might lose her forever. Their home was no longer safe, not with their father dead and the stench of betrayal in the air. So, I don't know. I would have to read a little more to see if it was something that I would want to read. If you have read this, let me know, because I honestly have never heard of it. And so, yeah. I don't know. I like the cover, and sometimes that means it's a good book. So, we'll see. Okay, so this one looked really interesting. It is called Sherwood, and it is by Megan Spooner. So you can tell Sherwood is Robin Hood, but this looks like a girl. So I'm assuming that it is like gender swapped, but oh no. It says Robin of Locksley is dead. Maid Marian doesn't know how she'll go on, but the people of Locksley town, persecuted by the Sheriff of Nottingham, need a protector. And the dreadful Guy of Gisborne, the sheriff's right hand, wishes to step into Robin's shoes as Lord of Locksley and Marian's fiancé. Who is there to stop them? Marian never meant to tread in Robin's footsteps, never intended to stand as a beacon of hope to those awaiting his triumphant return, but with a sweep of his green cloak and the flash of her sword, Marian makes the choice to become her own hero, Robin Hood. That one looks intriguing. Okay, so the next one is a historical fiction, and it is The Personal Librarian by Marie Benedict. This one, so this is a book about J.P. Morgan's Personal Librarian, and I don't know if it really needs much more explanation than that. I like to go into books like this not knowing a whole lot, but I will read you the beginning. Okay, it says November 28th, 1905, Princeton, New Jersey. The Old North bell tolls the hour, and I realize that I'll be late. I long to break into a sprint, my voluminous skirts lifted, my legs flying along the Princeton University pathways. But just as I gather the heavy material, I hear Mama's voice. Belle, be a lady at all times. I sigh. A lady would never run. I am interested in this. I have heard good things, and so I've had a hard time with historical fiction lately. I would love to find one that I love, but so far this year, I honestly don't know if I've read any this year, because last year I had a couple that I just did not enjoy, and so maybe this will be the one that I read. But I'm definitely going to try a chapter, I think, just to see if it's something I'm interested in reading. Okay, so the next one is called What I Carry, and this is by Jennifer Longo. This is a story about a girl who has aged out of foster care. Okay, so she hasn't aged out yet. She's about to. And so I used to do foster care, and my in-laws fostered teenagers, and so I've been around that world, and it kind of gets me in the feels, because I've seen these kids get to that stage in life, and so I'm intrigued by this book. Let me read you the intro. It says, "You will never in all your life meet a person who packs a better suitcase than I do. And I'll tell you right now, the secret is not organization, it is simplification. Get rid of your crap. Do not own things in the first place. Surrender the weight of what you carry, and the wide world is yours." So that reminds me so much of these kids coming in. A lot of times they don't have a suitcase. A lot of times their stuff is put in trash bags, and it's sad. And so, yeah, I think this could be a good one for me to read, just because my heart's kind of close to it. So I think I'm gonna at least try a chapter of that one. Okay, so the next one I have also seen on Book Outlet quite a bit and have thought about buying, and so I thought I'd pick it up and look at it, and it is called Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. First of all, this cover is just amazing. I'll read you the back. It says, "My name is Talon. I am a striker for Mara, the last free nation on this side of the sea. We are legendary bringers of death, assassins of monsters, and the only thing standing between our home and annihilation." I love that this has Sky Hunter on the pages. And I am going to read you the beginning. There's a map. I like maps. Okay, it says, "Ghosts travel in packs. This is the first lesson you're taught when you become a striker. You learn that ghosts used to be human before the Karasana Federation stripped them down and poured dark poison down their throats, twisting them into monsters, war beasts. Twisting them into monstrous war beasts. Now you'll see them hunting in the forests at the foothills of the mountains in groups of 6 or more, a grotesque contrast to the serene, snow-dusted landscape." That sounds really intriguing. So I might have to try this one out. Yeah, let me know if you've read this. This one, I honestly don't remember picking up, but I probably picked it up because I thought it looked cute, and it has glitter on the cover, and I'm a sucker for glitter. Okay, so the next one I got is fantasy, and it is adult fantasy. This is the Golem and the Genie. I've heard a little bit about this one from Krista on Books and Jams. I can't remember if she's read it or if she just has it on her TBR, but I'm pretty sure that's where I heard about it from. This one says Chava is a golem, a creature made of clay, brought to life by a strange man who dabbles in dark, Kabbalistic magic. Ahmad is a genie, a being of fire born in the ancient Syrian desert, trapped in an old copper flask by a Bedouin wizard centuries ago. He is released accidentally by a tinsmith in a lower Manhattan shop. Struggling to make their way in 1899 New York, the Golem and the Genie try to fit in with their immigrant neighbors while masking their true selves. Meeting by chance, they become unlikely friends whose tenuous attachment challenges their opposing natures. Until the night, a terrifying incident drives them back into their separate worlds. But a powerful menace will soon bring the Golem and the Genie together again, threatening their existence and forcing them to make a fateful choice. I don't know. Okay, the next one I've heard really good things. I think it was Chantel that read this a while back, and she really enjoyed it. It is The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. And this is the large print edition, which I don't usually get, but it was the only one they had, and so I picked it up. But this, I'm not sure what it's about. It says, in this gripping page turner, an ex-agent on the run from her former employers must take one more case to clear her name and save her life. Okay, so here is the intro. It says, today's errand had become routine for the woman who is currently calling herself Chris Taylor. She'd gotten up much earlier than she liked and dismantled and stowed her usual nighttime precautions. It was a real pain to set everything up in the evening, only to take it down first thing in the morning, but it wasn't worth her life to indulge in a moment of laziness. I've heard good things. I am going to try a chapter of this because it sounds really good. Okay, so this one intrigued me. I don't know anything about it. I have not ever heard of it, but it is called A Murder in Time. And this is about a woman who is an FBI agent. She ends up being a part of this really bad raid that goes wrong, and her whole team is murdered, and she is like wounded severely. So when she recovers, she decides that she wants to go after the person responsible for killing her entire team, and she does this by going to England, and she's in a castle. So she ends up being in danger. She goes into a stairwell. When she comes out, she is in 1815. She doesn't know how she got there, but she needs to figure out how she did and what's going on very quickly and see if she can figure out how to get home. So I love sci-fi and I love murder mysteries, and this looks like it is a combination of the two. This is also a series that has, I want to say it has like 4 or 5 books. When I was picking it up, I actually picked up one of the books that's further in the series, and I was like, wait, this isn't the first one, and I had to like look through 4 or 5 to find the first one. And so sounds very, very interesting. I don't know, we'll have to see. This might have to go on a list of books for me to read next year. Okay, so let me read the first part of the prologue. It says, August 1815. He was in hell. The fire from the torches lent a satanic flicker to the cavern's rough-hewn walls, molten gold and orange playing over the profane carvings and frescoes. The oily smoke from the sconces undulated, curled, and climbed like thick black serpents toward the ceiling. The effect pleased him. The environment was similar to the West Wakambi caves favored by Sir Francis Dashwood and his notorious Hellfire Club. Like those caverns, these chambers, 35 feet in the bowels of the earth, had been carved out by earlier men, desperate for the flint within the chalky walls, needing the rock to fashion their archaic weapons and tools. So, I'm really intrigued by this. I think I'm going to try a chapter. Not all of these I'm going to try a chapter, but I think this one I will. Okay, so the next one has been on like my radar for a long time. But I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. It is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This is sci-fi, and this is book 1 of the Expanse series, and it is a very long series. I hate it when libraries do this because I can't read all of this, but I'll read part of it. It says, humanity has colonized the solar system, Mars, the moon, the asteroid belt, and beyond, but the stars are still out of our reach. Jim Holden is XO of an ice miner, making runs from the rings of Saturn to the mining stations of the belt. When he and his crew stumble upon a derelict ship, the Scopoli, they find themselves in possession of a secret they never wanted, a secret that someone is willing to kill for, and kill on the scale unfathomable to Jim and his crew. War is brewing in the system unless he can find out who left the ship and why. So this series has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books as of the printing of this edition. I don't know. We'll see. So I'll read you the beginning. It says, Prologue, Julie. The Scopoli had been taken 8 days ago, and Julie Mao was finally ready to be shot. It had taken all 8 days, trapped in a storage locker, for her to get to that point. For the first 2, she'd remained motionless, sure that the armored men who'd put her there had been serious. For the first hours, the ship she'd been taken aboard wasn't under thrust, so she floated in the locker, using gentle touches to keep herself from bumping into the walls or the atmosphere suit she shared the space with. When the ship began to move, thrust giving her weight, she'd stood silently until her legs cramped, then sat down slowly into a fetal position. She'd peed in her jumpsuit, not caring about the warm, itchy wetness or the smell, worrying only that she might slip and fall in the wet spot it left on the floor. She couldn't make noise. They'd shoot her. I don't know. One thing I do love about this, I really do love a very big book. I don't know, something about it brings me joy, just to know that I'm gonna sit with a story for that long, and especially like if it's a good story. So I'm gonna try the first chapter of this because I have heard good things. I just don't know, because it's sci-fi, but I don't know. Depends on the writing to see whether I like it or not. Okay, this one has intrigued me for a very long time. And so when I saw it in the library, I was like, I've got to get it just to look at it, because I've heard that it has some unique features to it. So this one is called Bats of the Republic, and it is by Zachary Thomas Dodson. This is, let's see, it's a strange book. So it takes place in Texas, and basically it starts out in 1843, and it talks about Texas back then, and then it moves 300 years in the future, where the world has collapsed and humanity humanity has like sunken into this paranoia type of reality where just things are crazy. And what I've heard is interesting about it is just the book itself. Like, it has, okay, so I don't even know, like, so that's just a map of Texas, but let's see. It's kind of like a mixed media type of scenario. So like there's letters in here, and there's let's see, where was that? There's drawings, and then like right here, this is like a photocopy of a book, and it's like, so there's like a book within a book. So yeah, I don't know much about it. I just know that it is written in a unique way, and so I wanted to just kind of sit with it and look at it and see if it's something I'm interested in diving into, because it's really interesting just to have something that's like written so uniquely. I was trying to find, there was like a handwritten page here that I was trying to find. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So see, I don't know. I am going to be looking at this because if it looks like it's something I would be interested in reading, I'm definitely going to buy it, because it just intrigues me. But yeah, I might give you more information on this later, because right now I really don't know a whole lot, and it's like so much to unpack that I feel like I'm just going to be ranting about something that I don't know about. So I might like give you a better look at this in another video. Okay, so I have two more books here. This one is called Once There Were Wolves, and it is by Charlotte McConaughey. And it says, N.T. Flynn arrives in Scotland with her twin sister Aggie to lead a team of biologists tasked with reintroducing 14 gray wolves into the remote highlands. She hopes to heal not only the dying landscape, but Aggie too, unmade by the terrible secrets that drove the sisters out of Alaska. Yeah, so I haven't heard a whole lot about this. It is by the same person that wrote Migrations, which I have heard a few things about. But yeah, if you have read this, let me know if it's any good. I might like it, I might not. Okay, so the next one I picked up because I really like the cover. I have no idea what this book is, but I thought it was cool. So this is the cover. It is a newspaper article, and it's so small you can't really read it, but then the back has a different newspaper article. This is called The Postman Always Rings Twice and Double Indemnity by James M. Cain. So I'm assuming this is a classic. Yeah, this is a classic. Since it's not going to tell me a synopsis or anything, I'll just read you the first paragraph, but look at this. Let's see. It says, they threw me off the hay truck about noon. I had swung on the night before, down at the border, and as soon as I got up there under the canvas, I went to sleep. I needed plenty of that after 3 weeks in Tijuana, and I was still getting it when they pulled off to one side to let the engine cool. Then they saw a foot sticking out and threw me off. I tried some comical stuff, but all I got was a dead pan, so that gag was out. They gave me a cigarette, though, and I hiked down the road to find something to eat. So, I don't know. I'll try a chapter just because it's a classic and it might be something interesting. And I really just love the cover. I think it's really, really cool. And also, like, my library did this little, I don't know if you can see. Okay, so on the mystery, it's like a different font than they usually use. I thought that was a nice touch. But let's see, they don't have that on this one, which is a mystery book as well. So I don't know. I wish they'd put that on all of them because I like that. But anyway, that is my library haul. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these books other than some of them I'm gonna try chapter, some of them I'm just gonna look at, some of them will probably just sit here until it's time to go back to the library, but that's okay because they're free and that's what I get to do with them. So anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Let me know if you've read any of these in the comments, and I will see you in another video really soon.